So a lot of tutorials show you guys how to make these Discord bots with just one big file of code, but I wanted to do things a little differently for today's video. So I'll be walking you guys through how to build a more organized bot that's easier to manage and grow over time. We'll be using cogs and slash commands and a few other tools, but if you're not sure what those mean yet, or you're new to Python, no worries, I'll be breaking things down as I go in this series. Before we start coding, make sure you guys have Python installed and a code editor like the one I'll be using, VS Code. If you don't know what those are or how to set them up, no worries, I've got a separate tutorial on my channel and I'll pop it up on screen now. Alright, so now that we have that out of the way, let's set up our first project. First, head over to the Discord developer portal. I'll have it linked in the description. Create a new application. Here's where we can change the profile picture of our bot. And if we head over to the bots tab and scroll down, here's where we can enable our intents for our bot so it has permissions and give it admin. Next, we're going to select application.commands and bot and OAuth 2 selection. Now we're going to copy this link and invite it to your Discord server. Next, back into Visual Studio Code, we're going to create a new folder for our project. You can name it anything you'd like, but I'll be calling mine tutorial bot for this series. We'll start with a few files. Bot.py is going to be our main entry point for this bot where we're going to create and run events. Config.py is going to hold sensitive information like our bot token and your server's guild ID. Requirements is going to hold our dependencies, mainly like discord.py for this project. We're going to want to go to the terminal and type in pip install -u discord.py. Once you've got that all installed, we want to put into requirements.txt. This is just so later if you switch computers or share the code, it'll automatically install all the dependencies needed. Now we're going to create our cog folders. This is used for organizing different bot features like fun commands, admin tools, etc. For this series, we're going to start with naming our files cogs. Our fun folder where we're going to be putting our main command that we're going to be using for this one episode. The reason I'm setting up this modular structure from the beginning is because it saves a bunch of time and pain later. And it keeps our code clean and easier to expand our bot with new features over time. So back inside of our config file, we're going to be defining two variables here. For our token, we're going to head back to the Discord developer portal, click our bot, go to the bot tab, and copy the token ID. For our guild ID, we're going to have to go back into Discord, right-click our server icon, and choose copy server ID at the very bottom. Alright, so now let's walk through our bot.python file. We're going to be thinking of this as the heart of our project and mainly what we're going to be running our bot with. Here we're going to start by importing the libraries that we need. Nothing crazy, just discord.py, our bot token, and our guild ID from config. Next, we're going to be setting up some intents for our bot. In this case, we're enabling message_content so the bot can see messages. Then we're going to create the actual bot instance with no prefix since we're using slash commands for this series. We're going to be creating an onReady function here with the decorator that makes it run once our bot connects. Once it connects, it's going to log that we're online and tries to sync all of our slash commands to the server using our bot tree. For this series, I'm going to be using a specific server ID here for quick updates, but if you want to use this bot in multiple servers, just remove the guild equals part. Here, I'm just going to finish writing up the print sign that I, for some reason, struggled with. And after I write the print sign, I'm going to write an exception in case I get an error while we try to log into the bot. This function is going to be what makes our entire bot modular. It walks through the cogs folder and loads every Python file that doesn't start with an underscore. So instead of writing a big list of imports manually, the bot's just going to scan the folder and load everything for us. This function takes some time, but this is the kind of structure that'll save you time later. Python uses dot notations when loading modules. So this is going to be turning the directory from cog/fun/coin into cogs.fun.coin. And this is basically how it's going to tell Python where to find the code. We're also going to be ignoring files that start with underscores And the reason for that is that in Python, if you want a folder to work like a module, you're going to need a special file called the init files. These are usually empty, but they will tell Python to treat these folders like a package. So let's go ahead and create one in every folder inside cogs. This is just going to be a blank file named __init___.py. One in cogs, one in fun, and so on. And finally, we're going to be wrapping everything in a main function. This is good practice for async code and helps avoid some weird runtime bugs. Async.io.run at the bottom kicks everything off for us and wraps everything together. So now we've got a clean, scalable structure that's easy to grow with new features later on. Now that we have that out of the way, let's make our first command. Inside the cog/fun folder, we're going to create a new file called coin.py. This is where we're going to define our command. So here, I'm starting with the usual imports, including random at the bottom, since we'll be flipping a coin. Now we're going to create a class called coin. And this is going to inherit from the commands.cog. Each command's going to live in its own class so we can group related features together and keep things clean. This section is going to be where we have the actual command logic. We're going to start by using function decorators. So @app_commands.command is a decorator used to register everything, like the name and description. The next decorator we're going to use is for our guild ID. And the reason we're using our guild ID is just for faster sync updates. In our async function, we're going to write our variable to randomly select heads or tails. And then we're going to wait for the interaction to respond, and it's going to send the message flipped coin. At the bottom of every command, we're going to use this setup function to register our cog with the bot. This is going to be what gets picked up by the dynamic loader that we used from earlier. So now we can run everything in our terminal, typing Python, and then the directory for our bot file. Once it says that we're logged in, we can go into Discord and see our bot online and type in /coin. You'll see it's going to respond with either heads or tails. Now we've completed the base structure of our bot. If you want to follow along or just clone the whole thing, I've got a full code up on my GitHub. The link should be in the description or on my profile. If you're enjoying this kind of stuff, please consider subscribing. This is part of the full series where I'll be adding more features and moderation commands, events handling, custom embeds, and more. If you get it working, drop a comment, or if you get stuck, I'll help you out. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys all in the next one.